Emergencies are never convenient. Prevent them if you can, but be prepared if they happen. Tales from the Road is next.
Hey, welcome to Tales from the Road. I'm Andy McCaskey from RVNN TV, and introducing Dr. Jill Wendy, who's going to sit us down at the kitchen table and is going to give us a message that maybe we don't want to hear. But it's something we need to hear.
Something we need to hear.
It's really important. Just as important as pets in our lives.
That's right. As all those kitchen table talks are. Yes, today we are going to talk about pet insurance. So we are going to be exploring the reasons you might enjoy having a third party help you pay for veterinary care. So
this is a little bit of an ouchy subject for veterinarians, I imagine, as for consumers. Yeah.
It is. Because a lot of people who work in the veterinary industry are real touchy about money, and we're very caring, compassionate people, and we just want to help, and having money conversations is really difficult. But I had someone recently actually give us a really good quote because when you think about it, most, especially privately owned veterinary clinics, are small businesses. And, so what they said was profit, like oxygen, is not your reason for being, but without it, you don't last very long. So oxygen is not the reason we're on the earth, but we need it to do something good on the earth. And the same is true for having a cash flow through your veterinary hospital. I can't help people if I can't keep the doors open. And so we do have to have the money talk. And the way that we're going to do that is by exploring and learning a little bit more today about pet insurance.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just to back up a little bit, I mean, we really get, you don't think of a pet as being an investment, but you really get a lot from having a pet.
Oh, absolutely.
Mentally, physically, it's just a great thing.
The studies are countless in all of the benefits that pets give us, whether it be lowering blood pressure, lowering risk for heart disease and certain other things.
Force you to get out and walk.
Force you to get out and walk. The development of children is unbelievable compared to homes that don't have pets, as far as allergy formation. And how many times as a kid when we had those pets was that the only person that you could really talk to? There's a lot of intangibles that are really wonderful about having a pet. They're such an example of unconditional love. And so we really do need to take care of them appropriately. And because everyone knows that there are great benefits to having a pet, they are viewed as somewhat of it as an entitlement. And, that I should be able to have this pet. And they're really not. They're really a privilege, because it's not fair to you, and it's certainly not fair to them if they can't be properly cared for. So it is a privilege to experience the benefits of pets.
Well, a lot of times, as a pet owner, you go into one of the pet stores, and there's all kinds of dog toys, and there's, you spend a lot of money there.
You do.
But maybe you should be thinking about taking some of that money and allocating it a little bit differently.
Right, and taking care of a pet and being financially responsible for them is way more than foods and treats, and toys and that type of thing. We need to worry about their routine veterinary care, their preventive care, their vaccinations, their wellness examinations, all of those things that ensure that they're going to be as happy and comfortable as possible. And if they do have a problem, we can find it really, really early and make sure that we can get on top of it.
Now, so we hear a lot about heartworm. We talked a lot about that. Is that the most prevalent health hazard that an animal can come up against?
Well, it's probably not the most prevalent, but it is one of the most serious. So when we were talking about, but my pet never really goes outside. Well, they don't have to. So something
mosquitoes come inside.
Heartworm, mosquitoes are more than happy to come in the house. And in fact, about a third of our heartworm positive cats are indoor only. They don't ever go outside. So it doesn't matter if your dog only goes outside to go potty, and it doesn't matter if your cat never goes outside. They are still at risk for heartworm. And here's the kicker about heartworm, is it's when the heartworm dies in a cat that kills their lung and airways and can either, on the best of circumstances, give them lifelong asthma type signs, and the worst, a sudden death syndrome, where they just fall over dead and you didn't know why. So let's not go there. In dogs, they have stopped manufacturing the only treatment that we have for heartworm. And so whatever is on the planet is all there is. So there's a national shortage of the treatment for that. And I have so far been able to treat the dogs that we have come across this year, but it will be this year or the next. I will not be able to treat a dog for a preventable lethal disease. And so the cost of prevention far outweighs the cost of either managing this very slow, long drawn out damage and death that's going to happen, or, you know, if we were lucky enough to get treatment. So, you know, your ounce of prevention is way less expensive than your pound of cure if there's one available.
And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But the point is, back to your comment about being a small business, you have to maintain the facilities and the people to be able to serve clients when they come in. So this, like, trust me until next Friday, or I'll send you someone I can. I mean, you wouldn't ask another small business to do that.
Well, we don't, and we have no trouble asking veterinarians to do that because we are caring compassionate, and we probably go, oh, okay. But, you know, our payroll doesn't wait until next week. Our suppliers don't wait until next week. So, you know, we really do depend on that. We're not a Kohl's. We can't mark things up. And I love Kohl's. Don't get me wrong. I shop there a lot. But I know that something's going to be 40% there because they have this huge markup. And veterinary clinics are not that way. They're not retail stores. They're service industries. And so it's things just are what they are. And so that's kind of the big difference between that and, say, something like a retail type situation where you have this huge profit margin that you can play with.
Right.
And again, you know, like I said, it's such a privilege to be in a profession like this, because if our clinic and our business is successful, it doesn't mean we sold more widgets. It means we helped more people, which in turn allows us to reinvest and help more people.
Yeah. so does pet insurance, I mean, you have co-pays and the similar sorts of paperwork associated?
Sometimes. It's way less complicated than human health insurance.
Oh, thank you. Glad to hear that.
And we really want to protect that. We really do not want it to go the way of HMO and PPO and all of these other things and XYZ. It is much more a reimbursement type situation for most of them. Now, I'm not going to endorse any particular one pet insurance company, but the biggest thing is that you need to talk with your veterinarian about which ones they have the most experience with. Veterinarians don't sell insurance, but we have experience dealing with some of them. And basically, the way most of them work is that you will pay for your veterinary services, and then the pet insurance company reimburses you. And this works out really nicely because the turnaround time for the ones that I'm familiar with vary anywhere from a day or two to a week. And so you could literally have that money back to you, say, before your credit card bill came or something like that. And so it's huge. So, you know, credit cards, Care Credit, which is a line of credit that you can only use at health professionals. All of these things are awesome. If you want to rack up your credit card rewards miles, go for it if you've got a big procedure coming up. But for some people, it's just not there. And so to have a third party actually pay for them is huge. And so that is, like I said, again, typically the way that'll work. Do be very, very careful, though, that you know what is covered in your plan.
Well, I have to ask, I mean, because in human health care, pre-existing conditions are a really big deal.
Right.
Is that the same for pets?
There, you can get into a little bit of trouble with pre-existing conditions.
Or hereditary.
And hereditary things. There are certain, like I said, know what your policy covers, because some are really basically for major medical, some are for preventive and wellness care as well. Some will have, you can put on cancer riders. There are different things. Some will not pay for, say, knee ligament surgery in the first year or something like that. Some get a little squirrely about hereditary issues. So my advice to my clients when they ask me about it is start them as puppies and kittens, because it's cheapest then. You don't have any pre-existing diseases, and it's very simple to get into the routine of just keeping them on that pet insurance.
Right, exactly.
It's
so it's very much like humans in that if you can get them early on, they're getting the preventative care.
Right.
And that is going to hopefully forestall trouble down the road.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we're all about, we would much rather take our care of pets to be very proactive and preventive as opposed to just having the focus be reactive and treatment.
Yeah. What if you're traveling? Are there transferable benefits if you have to take them into some veterinarian? Do you have to find out somebody who's in plan or in the group, in network?
In the companies that we use, there isn't a plan or group. You just use it because they're reimbursing you for what, for what their usual and customary fees are. They take national averages and everything. But all those little actuaries have really good jobs. But they are, you do know what you've got in your coverage. Like I said, the ones that we use don't have groups or networks, anything like that. So just be careful if you have one that does.
Excellent. So we've had our tabletop discussion here, and you need to
yes.
have that same discussion with your veterinarian and
That's right.
investigate pet insurance. Don't forget to check us out on the Pinterest board for RVNN TV. There's actually a special board for Tales from the Road. You can also add a +1 there on Google+. The thumbs up on Facebook always helps. And please follow us on Twitter, because on Twitter, if you use the hashtag TFTR, as in Tales from the Road, you can send questions directly to Dr. Wendy, and we can make sure it gets incorporated into a future show.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Tales from the Road.
Hey, Gabe, wanna go for a walk? Gabe? Gabe? Gabe?
Hey, buddy, you lost? Hold on.
If your pet is the adventuresome type, be sure he's connected to Pet Hub. A quick scan using any smartphone shares your pet's vital information so that even his wildest escapades have a happy ending. Pet Hub, reuniting pets with their families.
Come on, Gabe, let's go home.